What's up, guys? It's Professor Gnome, and today we're going to be looking at Chien Pao EX and going over, similar to the deck list that I did for Regigigas in a previous video. I'm going to be looking at a little bit older decks that just got updated and much stronger thanks to Paradox Rift. And so Chien Pao is one of those decks. Thanks to Iron Hands and, again, Earthen Vessel, this deck became a lot more powerful. Simply because of the fact that we can use Baxcalibur's ability of Super Cold and put all the energies immediately onto Iron Hands, use something like Cross Switcher, or just retreat our target out, and just go ahead and start taking out knockouts, getting things very, like, finishing off the game pretty quickly. And it also fixes some matchups like Lost Box and things like that Chien Pao kind of struggled with before. And Chien Pao also combos with Iron Hands really, really well, specifically because anything that gets too high in HP for Iron Hands to deal with, simple things like other EXs or like a Charizard EX or something like that has really high hit points, Chien Pao really has no damage, like ceiling it can't overcome. So we're able to get through everything pretty easily. And we're able to search through our deck pretty fast. We also run Bibarel in order to draw and get through our cards, alongside a Canceling Cologne with the Cross Switchers and things like that. So that way we can deal with Manaphy's, use our Radiant Greninja for more than just draw power. As for supporters, we run a pretty simple line. We just run 4 Irida and 2 Iono. We run an extremely high item count, so we want to be able to get into those and also be able to Rare Candy Baxcalibur as soon as possible, so Irida is very good for that. And then Iono, obviously, for hand disruption and just being able to get new cards, limit our opponent's hand if we fall behind, things like that. But yeah, so that's going to be the deck list, guys, and let me know what you think. I'll see you in the games. Peace. Alright, we're into the game, and we're going to be going first. I find going first with Chien Pao is actually pretty good. Unfortunately, in this case, it's going to be a little bit awkward, but nothing that we can't kind of deal with. Alright, so we are against Lost Zone, it appears, so that's good. We can kind of show off Iron Hands, hopefully. We can get that all worked out. One of the things that makes going first kind of good is that we can set up our Baxcal, or like we can set up our Frigibax, get that kind of worked out immediately, and then on our next turn we can Irida and Rare Candy and do all the things like that we need to do. For now, we're gonna get rid of our Cross Switcher and the Counter Catcher, and I think the play here is to go into Radiant Greninja, set that down, concealed card, see what we draw. Alright, so we got another Cross Switcher, and then we'll get rid of these since we can already get into the other Rare Candy, and we'll grab the Bidoof, place one energy, or place the Bidoof down, and go from there. So that way on our next turn we can go Bibarel, place that down, Rare Candy Baxcalibur, place the energy down onto Frigibax, retreat that, go into Radiant Greninja, and start working from there. Or hopefully, to make our lives a little bit easier, they escape rope us. But we'll have to see. There's one energy, so they'll retreat fit manually. If we can get into Greninja and get into some energy, that would be super, super hype. Especially, too, because as of right now, they haven't played the Manaphy down. Though they could search it, but as of right now, that doesn't look like what they're going to do. Oh, it's Pokédead 202445. What? It's a lot of numbers. I wonder if it's like a... I was going to think maybe it's like a birthday or something. So, like, 2024... Oh, no, that can't be a birthday. That's an awkward date. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll Earthen Vessel, get rid of one of the Irinas, grab ourselves 2 energies here. We can attach one to retreat. Go into Greninja. Go ahead and Irida for the Baxcalibur and the Rare Candy. This will make our hand smaller, so that way we can get the most amount of cards possible with Bibarel. There's a Super Rod, so we'll place down the PokéStop. We can Ultra Ball. Yeah, I think this is what we want to do. We can get rid of the Super Rod and the Iono. We can go ahead and grab ourselves the Iron Hands. And now we will PokéStop, see what we're able to find. Another Cross Switcher, not super great. And at this point, we can just discard the energy because we're looking for Super. Perfect. We have the 4 energy. Yeah, and from here we can just get rid of all this. We can grab all the energy we need. Use our Baxcalibur. 1, 2, 3. Hold on to one more for the next turn. Moonlight Shuriken. And we'll just place them onto the 2 back here. Now all we need is one more energy for next turn. If we pull a super here, that would be kind of cool. We know the electric energy is in deck. We got our Irida. So now what we can do is we have an energy on the Radiant Greninja, so we can pull a super with Irida, get back the last bit of energies that we need, and start to power up our not our Baxcalibur, our Iron Hands. There's the boss's orders. Alright, so they're going to put damage down onto the Iron Hands, which is fine for us. So what we can do here is we'll play down... How do we want to sequence this? So we'll play down the Frigibax. And we need to make sure that we find the electric energy. So we can Irida, grab ourselves a Chien Pao just to get our deck thinner. We can grab the super, place the Chien Pao down. We can discard... how do we want to play this? Alright, so... we're looking for the electric energy. That's going to be the main thing. I want to find it before I commit the energies, though. So we'll Industrial Incisors first. And now what we actually want to do is we want to PokéStop here and hopefully discard the electric energy, which we didn't get, but that's fine, I guess. Alright, so now we'll thin a little bit more. We can Radiant Greninja. We still didn't find it, which sucks a little bit, but it's not all that bad. And now we can just pass our turn, I'm pretty sure is the best thing we can do. It would have been nice to find the electric energy. Unfortunately, we didn't. But that's why I didn't want to commit the energies onto Iron Hands yet. This is where having the Earthen Vessel still in play would have been nice. But unfortunately, we had to use it a little early. There's the switch. If they are playing something like with Giratina or something like that, though it doesn't appear that they are, it looks like they're playing kind of like that Roaring Moon variant. Yeah, there's a Sableye. So we won't be able to really deal with the Manaphy as easily. but it's fine. What we're really going to be doing is just taking knockouts with Iron Hands, because we can definitely get the energy on our next turn. Through like just thinning our deck with Irida a little bit more, PokéStopping it away if we have to. Kind of whatever needs to get done. And the only awkward thing about it is that we're gonna essentially knock out our own Iron Hands because of the Vengeful Punch, which I don't really love, but it just means that we'll only need 2 other knockouts, which is fine. We'll take the Heavy Ball, I guess. Who really cares? And we'll take the Manaphy. Let's use the Heavy Ball, see if we pull anything cool. Another Bidoof. What are other prizes? Alright, cool. So nothing valuable. Now what we can go ahead and do is... There's no more Pokemon in our deck, so we can conceal cards. We don't need that. Now we can PokéStop. There's the electric energy we were trying to discard. Perfect. So we'll get rid of this, and we'll get rid of the last Cross Switcher because it doesn't do anything for us anymore because we discarded all our other ones, which arguably isn't the best thing we could have done, but it's not the biggest deal, especially in a situation like this. So we can attach our electric energy, go ahead and use our Super Cold, attach everything to Iron Hands, and yeah, we'll just go from there. So now, thank you very much, take the knockout. We'll put the damage down on ourselves, not the biggest deal, we get knocked out, but who really cares? They take 2. We also take 2. Yeah, we only need 2 energies, so we can just go into Chien Pao. We can, if we want to, I guess we can look for like another Super Rod or something and make a new Baxcalibur, which would be the best play to make. I assume he's going to be looking for like a Charizard, so that way when I knock this out, he goes into Charizard, and then I kind of have an issue, but path doesn't really matter. I have debated with this deck on if it's better to run 2 Chien Pao or if it's better to run 3. I think 2's fine almost all the time, but every so often, like because of either like a prize card situation or whatever, it can be a little bit awkward, and it makes me want to put 3 sometimes. But for the most part, it doesn't really ever matter. We'll PokéStop just to get that out of play. We'll Shivery Chill. I don't think there's even anything in our deck. Oh, there is. There we go. We'll grab 2 energies that way. Then, yeah, from here we'll just attach and move on. We don't want to play anything else down, because we don't want to give them other Lost Mine targets. And we can just go ahead, drop 2. Boop, boop. And there we go. So we just need 1 more KO on literally anything. We have the ability to... Oh, there's our Heavy Ball. Doesn't really matter. That means the last one is another VIP pass. Even if they go Charizard here or something like that, it won't really matter. Because what we can do is... Like, if it really comes down to it, we look for another Heavy Ball. Or not Heavy Ball, sorry. The other Super Rod in our deck. Because we only used 1, I believe. Yeah. So we can look for the other Super Rod in our deck. And then just Nest Ball out our target. We put up Greninja to the front. Or what we could do, I'm being a little bit overcomplicated about it, we can literally just superior energy retrieval, put 2 energies down, Moonlight, Shuriken, the Radiant Charizard for weakness, and just knock it out that way too. So, like, we have options. We'll Escape Rope into the Radiant. Let that get knocked out if it has to. I went for de-evolution. I mean, I guess that's interesting. I mean, that's certainly cute. If, like, I didn't have another rare candy available or something like that, that could have been pretty good, actually. So, cute play. Unfortunately for you, I do. So, I can... Do I just knock it out this way for the funds? We'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of the VIP pass. Draw ourselves some energy. They're going to surrender. There it is. Yay! So that's game 1. A little bit of an awkward start, but you can just see how, like, versatile the deck is and how strong it is, and, like, the ability to just start playing very quickly. Where, like, even with an awkward start, it took 2 turns or something like that to, like, completely take over. And against something like Lost Zone, they need time to, like, ramp up and do things, and being able to tech Iron Hands now just really, really benefits the matchup super, super well. So yeah, that's game 1, and I'll see you guys in game 2. Peace. Alright, we're into game 2. Our opponent won the coin flip, and they're actually having us go first. We'll play the Greninja in the active, and put Bidoof in the back. We'll see what they're playing. They're also playing Lost Zone. Alright, cool. I mean, it's nice that we have the Canceling Cologne. We have ourselves some options. We'll go ahead and grab a Chien Pao and a Frigibax for now. It looks like we're going to need to find the Heavy Ball in order to get into... looks like we're going to need to find the Heavy Ball in order to get into our Iron Hands, because it's in the prize cards, which I guess isn't the biggest deal ever. We'll wait on playing the Manaphy down in case that's not super relevant for now. And we'll leave space. We can attach 1 energy onto Greninja in case we want to retreat it or use it later. We can Earthen Vessel to thin our deck out, get rid of the Nest Ball. It's not really super important. Grab ourselves... yeah, we'll grab ourselves the electric energy for now. We can discard it with Greninja and just get it in our discard pile later. And I think we'll call it there. We could retreat and go into Chien Pao, draw 2 more energies. But for now, it's kind of fine, I would assume. We're probably, what we're going to look to do on our next turn is Ultra Ball, look for the Bibarel, and draw ourselves some cards that way. We'll discard the electric energy with Greninja, and having Greninja in the active right now is pretty good because it forces him to have to take up a spot with Manaphy, or he can't really do anything with his Cone Phase. And taking up the bench spot is pretty good for us. Just kind of limits some options later on in the game. We also have Canceling Cologne, so that could also come up with a Cross Switcher later. Yeah, so like there's the Manaphy. They found their Heavy Ball. Tragic. If we find ours, I mean, that'd be super hype. Get this thing out of the prizes. Get the thing popping off quickly. There's one Comfey. Alright, Chorus Experiment. We can assume he has a second Comfey, or he's going to be able to find one, so we can, thanks to the Chorus Experiment, get an attack off with Cramorant this turn, but we're not really under that much pressure. He actually chose to get rid of one. That's interesting. While we're kind of like waiting on, plays to happen here, I kind of like to bring up these discussions in the second game, but I feel like I should start bringing them up sooner because most people don't really see this far in. Most are like there for the deck list, watch one game, and then bounce, which is totally cool. I get it. So thank you for everyone who watches, further into the video. But one of the things that I would say, let's Ultra Ball first. We'll get rid of the water energy and the counter catcher for now. Grab ourselves the Bibarel. We can attach and draw with Bibarel now. Get us the most amount of cards possible. There's an Irida that works perfectly for me. We'll grab ourselves the Baxcalibur and the Rare Candy, because we're going to need that more than we're going to need anything else. We can go ahead and put it onto the one in the center. Why not? Then from here, we can concealed cards, get rid of the electric energy in our hand. There's one Cross Switcher and a second energy. That's pretty good. We have 2 water energy in the discard. So let's do it like this. We'll retreat out, go into Chien Pao. We'll chill, grab ourselves 2 more water energy. Then from here, what we can do is kind of hang out for a second, I think. It's not really worth getting rid of this other stuff. What we can do is, on our next turn, if we really decide to, we can Ultra Ball and set up a second Baxcalibur, which isn't a bad idea to do. Actually, like all things considered, that's probably what we'll do, and that also will help thin our hand out a little bit. We can get rid of the Cramorant, take a prize card, and potentially 1 in 6 chance grab our Iron Hands here. No. Oh, that was worth a shot. And the other reason, too, why we want to have Greninja retreated, other than the fact that we can just take that Cramorant knockout, is, like, we're going to look for the other Cross Switcher. Canceling Cologne to knock out the Manaphy and another Comfey, and just kind of play around that way. Because you have the one thing I will say about this deck that makes it really good is just how versatile it is. Like, it gives you so many options to be able to play with that even in this matchup that can be a little hard, it's like, all right, well, we didn't find our Iron Hands, but that's fine. We have like other options, and we can just kind of make the correct plays most of the time. There's a Lost Vacuum. Cool. But anyway, to what I was saying before, and I got a little sidetracked, with gameplay stuff. And again, while we're kind of just waiting for them to make a move, I kind of ask like questions in these second halves of the games, and I guess I kind of would maybe move this around earlier or whatever. But I'd be curious to know, because like I was reading a thing, and like something that for Pokemon that's always kind of stuck out to me is that every Pokemon is somebody's favorite, right? So like Comfey is somebody's favorite. It's certainly not mine, but it's somebody's. And like Baxcalibur is somebody's favorite, and like all that kind of stuff. And I thought that's such a cool concept. So I'd be curious to know, like, anyone who's watching this, if you care enough to, comment and give your opinion on it, what would you say is your favorite Pokemon? Like, diehard favorite, this is the one, stands out. But also, what is a Pokemon that you're surprised is somebody's favorite? I feel like Comfey is one of those for me. But, like, something like Aromatisse, it's just, like, I get so surprised. Like, that's somebody's favorite. Like, there's somebody out there that's, like, a huge fan of Aromatisse. Another one of those for me was, like, the Gothitelle line. I kind of thought they were, like, fine. Like, they're an okay Pokemon. Nothing crazy, nothing that impressive or whatever. But, like, they're okay. And there's people that, like, love that line. Like, I actually have a friend who that is his favorite like that's his favorite Pokemon in Pokemon Evolution. So like I always found that really like weird and kind of fun. But yeah, so just let me know your opinions on that. I'd be curious. Maybe I'll start moving them to like the questions like that to the deck list section like towards the end, just because I'm very curious about like questions like that, like what people's opinions on that are and all that. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you made it this far. All right, back to the gameplay stuff, the thing that people actually care about. They used escape rope. We're gonna go into Greninja because we can live, and then they have beach court down, so it just gives us a free retreat back into our Chien Pao, which is really the only reason why we went into Greninja. We're gonna retreat it back out in a second anyway. Yeah, so we'll get rid of the energy, and we'll get rid of the Nest Ball. Find ourselves the Baxcalibur, so that way we can Rare Candy, put that into play. We'll retreat, go into Chien Pao, draw ourselves a couple cards with incisors. Perfect. There's the last Cross Switcher that we need. Now we can go ahead and Shivery Chill, whatever. Grab one energy into our hand, and from here, how many energy do we have? All right, so they'll be all in the discard pile, which is fine for us. We can. How do we want to play this? I think we discard the energy here, draw 2, cool. So now we have cooler stuff to discard. We'll drop the Canceling Cologne, or sorry, we'll drop the Cross Switcher, pull up Greninja, drop the Canceling Cologne, go ahead and Superior Energy Retrieval, get rid of the Nest Ball and the VIP Pass, grab ourselves 4 energy. And now we can go ahead and Baxcalibur. Attach the 3. Hold the other one in our hand. Go ahead and Moonlight Shuriken. Making sure to take out the Manaphy and the other Comfey. Though I guess it doesn't really matter to knock out the Manaphy here, because we're not really going to get the opportunity to do it again anyway. But it's all relatively the same. We got another Cross Switcher and another energy. So we're in a phenomenal position if we're able to pull that Hisuian Heavy Ball. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Because we've been kind of weird. We've been like supporterless this whole game. Doesn't really matter because like we get through our cards relatively quickly anyway. But it's definitely been weird. Like we didn't pull any of our stadium cards. We haven't pulled really any of our any of our supporters and stuff like that. So a little awkward, but whatever. We have all the energy we need to attach onto Chien Pao and knock out the Cramorant in response. We'll get one more prize card. So now we're down to a 1 in 3 chance on Iron Hands. If we're able to pull that, then all we need to do is grab a Superior Energy Retrieval, and we'll be, game over. Plus, we have one more Cross Switcher to be able to work with. A regular boss's orders would be fine in this deck. I think you could make space for it just so that way you don't always have to rely on Cross Switcher to grab stuff, but I think it's fine. The Manaphy makes them replacing the Manaphy, I didn't think they would do that because of the fact that they're just going to knock out Radiant Greninja with Cramorant on the next turn anyway, or on this turn anyway. But maybe they think that we play 2 Canceling Colognes or something like that. They just want to be really cautious. potentially. Like, so that way I don't just, like, super rod it back and make the same play. I mean, I guess that's what they could be thinking. I feel like I don't really agree with that play, though, because, like, if you're already this far behind, you can't really continue to play so cautiously. Oh, knocking out Bibarel, that's interesting. I mean, that's a good play. Or attempting to knock out Bibarel, I guess I should say. So there's Irida. How do we want to do this? I think we just find ourselves... We'll take the Frigibax just to get it out of our hand. I think we just grab ourselves the other Cross Switcher here. Alright, I feel like that's the right play. So now we drop Cross Switcher. We'll pull up... I mean, it'd be nice to pull up the Manaphy again and knock that out. But we'll just deal with the Comfey for now, I guess. I assume he just is going to replace one on his next turn anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We'll grab these. And from here, we will incisors. Cool. We can get rid of that. PokéStop. Let's see if we can find a heavy ball. That would be fantastic. Though I think our heavy ball is also prized, if I remember correctly. We'll hold on to the Super Rod. And is there any other energy in our deck? I don't remember. No. Let's see if our heavy ball is prized. It's not. Alright, so, you know, whatever. So, 1 in 3 chance. It would have been smart to knock out the Manaphy, if we're being completely honest. But it, again, also doesn't really matter. So that's another reason why I didn't really do it. It's not going to make much of a difference. He has a million ways, and... Alright, so 1 in 3 chance. Let's go this one. Alright, another Chien Pao. So not what we wanted. Alright, so what did I click on originally? 3? So... if we find the heavy ball and it's in 3, know that this is why you always trust your first judgment. But yeah, so there's the Nest Ball. He runs multiple Super Rods, and he even ran, what was that? Yeah, the Clara in order to get it back. So I'm sure he has plenty of other ways to just replace the Manaphy. So it's not really going to matter. We're just kind of knocking stuff down just to knock it over at this point. There's the Sableye. That's going to be able to take these 2 cards. But again, we're fine. We're just going to take 1 prize a turn for the next 2 turns and win the game that way. This was definitely a little bit of a slow game. Sableye's pretty cool. Like, I could see Sableye being somebody's favorite Pokemon. Just look at that little freak. Manaphy's okay. Manaphy's kind of cute. I can understand that. Cramorant's just dumb. And I kind of like it for that reason. Like, it's just stupid. And I appreciate that. Same with something like Bibarel. Like, it's just dumb looking and fun. Same with, like, Bidoof. But, like, Frigibax kind of sucks, if I'm being honest. Like, I wish they just kind of went, like, a more Godzilla route with them. Like they did with Tyranitar. Like, Frigibax is just kind of boring looking. Especially in this art. Like, it's, I don't know, it's weird. It's like it's just not that cool. It has there's a lot of potential there that doesn't get used, I guess, is the best way to put it. Alright, there's a counter catcher. I don't think they're really going to use that. I mean, unless they're crazy and, like, counter catcher up the Baxcalibur, knock that out, and then counter catcher up another Baxcalibur, and, like, that'd be kind of nuts. There's False Vacuum, so they can get rid of the PokéStop. So they'll retreat, go into Radiant, Charizard, knock out Baxcalibur. So this is a situation where, like, I guess knocking out the Manaphy would have been better. So that way I can use Radiant Greninja here for more than just the Radiant Charizard. But again, I'm just going to assume that even if I did that, they have like a million ways to put it back. So it's not the biggest deal in the world. So we'll place this down. We can go ahead and Superior Energy Retrieval. Get rid of this and that. Grab ourselves our energies back. And now what we want to do is just make sure that we have all the energies attached that we're going to need. So we can Silver Reach it, or what? Super Cold. Place the 3 energies down. Onto our Greninja here. And we'll place 1 onto Chien Pao. Now we can do the same thing again. Get rid of these, because we're not going to need these anymore. And grab ourselves a whole bunch of energy again. And now we can attach onto... Yeah, we'll attach onto Chien Pao. And now from here, what we can do is kind of just spread out these energies as much as we want. So we'll place 2 onto Baxcalibur. We'll place 1 onto this Baxcalibur. We can go ahead and Iono just to limit his hand for next turn. There's some Super Rods. We can Super Rod and just put a Chien Pao back in the deck, and we'll put the electric energy back in the deck. Why not? Who cares? Draw ourselves some new cards here. Perfect. So there's that, and we can play the PokéStop for next turn if we really have to, or something like that. Really, the goal here is we just want energy available to us to stop the counter catcher that he has in hand. So we can put that down, and we'll put that down there. It gets blocked. It doesn't really matter, but we knock out the Charizard. Really what we're looking for is... Alright, so 3, right? No, so PokéStop. So it didn't matter. I would have been wrong on the last turn anyway. Really what's important here is we're just looking for one of our other energy retrievals. We should have 1 more in the deck. We do. And so even if he goes into Sableye here and like counter catchers up our Baxcaliburs or something like the Bibarel in an attempt to kind of like lock us in place and just like loss mine us down, we will probably be fine, all things considered. So an escape rope, we'll go ahead and put our Chien Pao up into the front. There's a Mirage Gate. He can put the energy onto Sableye, knock out the Radiant Greninja, or not. Yeah, so he could have knocked out the Radiant Greninja there and the Bibarel, but it wouldn't have mattered, because then we just have all the energies in place, knock out the Chien Pao, and move on. So, yeah, that's going to be 2 Lost Zone games, and we're going to call it a day there. So that's game 3, or game 2. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I think that Chien Pao is still in a really, really good place. It's kind of been, like, forgotten about in the current meta, I feel like, a little bit. But it still performs, and I think it's actually one of the stronger decks in the format. And also, post-rotation, I think it's going to be the best deck in the format by far. It doesn't really lose anything after rotation. It doesn't, like, other than a Cross Switcher, but that's about it. Nothing in this deck is affected post-rotation. So, it's just going to take over the game when every other deck loses so much. So that's definitely something to consider, and maybe like why you should start learning the deck now a little bit. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, guys. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.